welcome back. So, what am I up to today? I just talked to Hawkwind and figured out that I was reminded actually that with the virtue of compassion, I am ready to become an avatar of that. So I will eventually need to find the shrine of compassion and meditate there. And also, this I've been discussing in the comments under some of my videos. I need to find the locations where Nightshade and Mandrake root is gonna spawn, because I need these regions, which you can buy at a store, for some spells. For example, when it comes to resurrecting that character, which, well, it can happen, right? I need one of these regions, so I would like to get these. But before I get into any of that, I would like to do a tiny bit of farming, which was another recommendation by a viewer. And I would actually like to do that in the dungeon I just finished. Hold on, that's 1, 2. Now I have to fight. I would like to do that in a dungeon of Deceit. And there are several reasons for that. First of all, I already finished that dungeon, so I know my way around in there a little bit. At least I know what to expect. And it had these stat stones in there. Stones that when one of the characters touches them, their stats will increase by 5. And I do believe, I am not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that these respawn, so I could actually get my mage, Maria, could get her intelligence up, which would be nice. And eventually, I would also like to get the other stats level, which means I could go back to Desert, where there were some strength zones, and get strength onto some of my characters. And also, when it comes to hitting enemies, it would be really cool to actually... Hold on, let me kill this guy. It would be really cool to get some dexterity, because I do think that higher dexterity stats will actually allow my characters to hit the enemies better, more reliably. If it turns out that these things do respawn, I think I will farm these dungeons off camera. And I made another mistake. Or did I? This is Minnock, right? If this is Minnock... Yes, it is. I should step through the third phase of this moon gate. And then the first one. And that should get me to Skara Brae. Why do I want to go to Skara Brae? 1, 2, 3. Because food is cheapest in Skara Brae. Yeah, I actually made it. Got some herbs, we got a beggar we could give some money to. Right, and now I'm gonna pick up some supplies. Yes, because they're really, really cheap here. So let me pick up 20. Oh, 998 food. That's a pretty good amount. So let's head back out. Let's head back to the moon gate. Need to enter on the second phase. It's 1. It's 2. And we are now close to U, the town my character originates from. And if I'm correct, I should enter this one through on the first phase. So my plans are I am gonna go back to Britain, get on my boat, sail to the Dungeon of Deceit, which is gonna be a longer journey. That's why I wanted to pick up some supplies. Go through that dungeon, hopefully pick up more of these skill stones and also pick up some money, more money. And then I will know what farming those dungeons is like, whether all the stuff respawns. If it does, I will do some without recording it, because that would be rather dull, me going through the same dungeon over and over. And I can actually get my stats up, which would be a nice upgrade. And the next actual story-related ones, kind of finding these regions, so I can get some better spells, like Resurrection. And then find the Shrine of Compassion. And also, I still have more dungeons to go through, so let's see whether I get ambushed again. Okay, we're back in Britain. So the first dungeon, the start, close to Trinsic, did drop, let me save the game, did drop strength, skill stones, stat stones. So I want to get more of these as well, because they will probably allow me to do more damage. And Deceit, we found intelligence stones. So that's a quite handy one. For the mage, maybe for my main character, because druids can cast spells as well. And also, I need to find a dungeon that has these dexterity stat stones, because dexterity will boost my hit rating. So I'll eventually find that. So now we're off again on the long journey, all the way over the place to Deceit. Actually, I think I have a boat there. I killed the guys on the boat, the pirates. I think I may be able to actually get that to the shore close to Moonglow, which would be really nice. Because if I do, I can just travel by Moongate to Moonglow, get on a boat, and then sail from there. Which would be a great way to get to the eastern half of the world quickly. Ah, there we go. Got a boat right there next to Vesper. So now, let's see if I can find this place again. As I said before, my sense of orientation isn't really the best. I think I need to go north now, right? There it is. There's the dungeon. Right, we got a lich there. Group of liches, I guess. It's waiting eagerly, trying to kill me. But it's only 2, so it's not going to be that much of a problem. Alright, now I can actually just go ahead and keep shooting with most of the characters. Kind of abandon Julia down there. Right. It's fleeing, that's good. Well, it doesn't look like it's fleeing, but the game said it's fleeing, so. Alright, so let's get the chest. And before we go in there, let's mix a few more spells. So we're gonna make an exit spell. That's Blood Moss, Spider Silk, and Sulphurous Ash. Right, so let's make another one. Blood Moss, Spider Silk, Sulphurous Ash. Alright, so we got 2 exit spells. How about Up and Down? Gonna do some of these as well. These always take... Hold on. Yeah, it's Blood Moss, right? And... oh, Spider Silk. C, D, and E. C, D, and E. C, D, and E. Okay, so also we're going to do some light spells. Because the light spell actually lasts for quite some time, which is nice. But at the same time, there are some wind traps which will blow out your candles. So what else should we make? We should do some more cure. And that is garlic and ginseng. So it's B and C again. C, B and C. Alright. Also, I would like to do some dispel. So that's the letter D. And that is black pearl, sulphurous ash, and garlic. Alright, so we've got 5 dispels. Maybe I should do some healing. I mean, I can actually mix these in the dungeon based on what I need. But I don't know, it feels a bit more adventure-like to actually do that in front of the dungeon. You know, like setting up camp in front of the dungeon, then getting ready. So, I also want to make some up spells. No, that's wrong. Exit, YZ. No, that should be plenty. So, I have exit, down, up, light, dispel, heal, cure, awaken, if though with a bunch of reapers that's not going to help me much. And I've got some open spells as well. So let us save the game. Let's hold up once more, just to get our health all the way up, and then we'll head in there. Oh, and by the way, the reason that Maria was killed last time is when you touch one of these skill stones, you will actually take 200 damage. So I really need to keep that in mind. No one's gonna drink. These fountains, I looked that up, actually will cure you, heal you, or have no effect sometimes as well. I know it may look as if I know my way around. I don't, but fortunately these levels aren't like insanely big. Ow, lots and lots of poison there. Which is of course what spiders do, right? Fortunately I made enough cure spells, right? There we go. Oh yeah. Cast, Maria, cure. Main character, cast, Maria. Nope. Or cure on Joffrey. Alright. More spiders. Oh, is that spider clean already? Alright. Yeah, I remember that one, where the, I guess, brick and mortar type part of the dungeon went into some cave area, and I really liked that because, I mean, the question always should be like, I mean, think about it, who built these dungeons, right? Who actually went and said, okay, I'm gonna build this gigantic subterranean cave and built like really ton of walls in there? Maybe it was because people, maybe it's like abandoned mines, maybe people were trying to look for something like stat stones. I don't know. And I actually like this because even though the game really doesn't have amazing graphics because there weren't a thing back in the day, this conveys that, you know, like, okay, you're in this dungeon, and now we're going from the part of the dungeon that has been actually outfitted with walls to an older part where there's just cave walls. So, have to make our way through this hallway. Let's get everyone lined up. That's not lining up. It passed through the whole thing. No? Nope. Okay. So now it should be in the right order where I can just keep pressing east. Yes, I remember this cave as well. I think I did use a down spell, right? At some point. This is always something one can do when I feel stuck. So, bunch of headless guys. Again, a gazer. And it kind of does make sense, right? I mean, I mentioned this before. Gazers are inspired by beholders from Dungeons and Dragons. Some very powerful and creepy, dangerous enemies who can kill you 6 ways to Sunday. And there are no laughing stock in Ultima either. As you can see, he just put one of my characters to sleep, which never is fun. And so it's kind of like, you know, okay, we are off the beaten path, we're out of the hallways that were built. And here we find one of the more powerful enemies. It's a little bit like Moria, I guess. You know, where the deeper you go, the scarier stuff gets. It's actually something that was hinted at in the Lord of the Rings books, which always fascinated me because a lot of times Tolkien would just hint at stuff and it would be creepy. And I think it was Gandalf who talked about like deep down in Moria, in the lowest levels, which aren't really well explored, everything is incredibly dark, and there are beings that are incredibly old and scary, and he never explained what it was. And I thought that was always quite fascinating. I was trying to imagine what kind of evil being would be in there, all the way down in the lowest levels of Moria. And for a while, I was actually playing Lord of the Rings Online, which is an MMO. Probably heard about it. It's a World of Warcraft clone, kinda. Set in the world of the Lord of the Rings around the time of the actual War of the Ring. You know, when the Fellowship was on its way to get the ring destroyed, and your character is in that world, kind of mixed up with things. You do encounter the Fellowship, you do encounter the ring waves, and you kind of follow the journey, and this happens in the course of a couple of years, which does make sense actually, because it's not like in the movies where the whole trip took like, I don't know, what felt like 2 weeks, but quite a long time. So why am I talking about this? The first actual expansion of the game was called Mines of Moria. And as the name implies, it was set in Moria. You go there and it was like a whole expansion set in that huge mine. And it was really well done, in my opinion. And you could, you'd have to like level through there and find the way out. Eventually you could get out to the backside of Moria and get to like this elven town. And I do seem to remember that you could actually really go down to the really low levels of Moria and actually find some rather weird stuff in there. It's been a long time since I played that expansion, and I don't quite remember what was down there. But I do remember that they had some pretty scary creatures. I know that's quite a lot of talk about that MMO, but it just made me think of that when I saw this part of the dungeon. And I figured it would be more interesting than me just saying, okay, shoot, attack, shoot. Alrighty. I think in this room, you see these poison fields there, which I cannot pass, but I can actually dispel them. And I'm going to do so now. This part always drags a little, where I have to move my character step by step through this place, through this room. But let's not forget how old this game is and what was a standard back then, which wasn't much because a lot of stuff wasn't established yet. So yeah, almost there now. And what I'm going to do again is kind of move my characters out. I'm just going to leave 2 characters in there. That was really stupid. I meant to cast. So let's see. Actually stepped right into the poison. Very nice. Didn't work. So what I am gonna do... Did it work last time? I don't quite remember. So let me just get Maria onto those chests. I'm sure there is a hidden switch in this room, which would turn off the that trap, that field. Gonna move these characters out of the room now. $47 gold, nice. All right. So let me cast a cure spell. All fixed. Very nice. And we are on level 3. So I am gonna stop the recording for now. Gonna save the game. And I am gonna continue next time. I hope this wasn't too boring. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.